Ah! I put electric explosive in your head. Sound familiar? That's right. We're here to discuss Mission Impossible 3. Dun, 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 dun. This is the theatrical directorial debut from J.J. Abrams, which is doing pretty well these days. And pretty much J.J. Abrams, right. I see, I told that, I mentioned that on another review, that's the name of a character from Forbidden Planet, J.J. Abrams, so that's why it's more easy to say that if it comes out. So this is a movie debut from J.J. Abrams.
Yes.
Who, as I said, now is kind of just writing his own, he does whatever he wants to do now. Good for him. I think that this is a definite, for my money, a definite fantastic recovery from what I highly regard as a kind of almost a mistake. I mean, part 2 for me is like, if this could be part 2, this should just be part 2. It's kind of like, this should be Mission Impossible 2. And I think Tom Cruise, maybe after he, came back from church or, his class, his Scientology class or whatever, kind of maybe watched 2 again and went, oops, maybe, make up for it. And Mission Impossible 3 went more back to a little bit more realistic, and I think it's probably got some, maybe of the most dramatic scenes out of all 4 of them, which I thought the stuff was very good by killing that main girl so early on.
Carrie Russell, that surprised me too.
Yeah, and I thought
she's a staple of the Abrams television. He created Felicity, and
I
was expecting he's gonna showcase her. She's in it for 5 minutes, and I was
wasn't that good?
Whoa, yeah. I think he was expecting people to have my reaction. But anyway, keep going.
So I thought the beginning I thought was such a great way, the beginning to rope you in, the pre-credit beginning.
Yeah.
What did you think when you?
That was the best scene. That was so amazing. What an opening. I was just.
What a great.
I was completely hooked. It was what the heck is going on?
Isn't that great? So I like.
That was like a Tarantino sequence. that was terrific. Anyway, keep going.
So yeah, the only thing that I, think is a little out of place is which in retrospect seeing it. This is what I thought at the time, but in retrospect, seeing it again, being older, it's not as big a deal. But the thing where it's he's got his girlfriend, his fiance, and they're having that kind of yuppie party thing at the beginning, and it's just that to me at the time, it didn't feel like Mission Impossible, because all we'd seen of Ethan Hunt up until then was really just that the spy side of it. So at the time, it was what? He's got a personal life? What the hell's he got a personal life for? That's no fun, to watch as a viewer. But I think, I guess, I still don't know how I feel about it. I guess it is, for the 3rd time around, I guess it's a good thing to do, to throw in there, because if you go a 3rd movie without it, people would start be wondering, what, does this guy have a life? So I guess, and this was around the time when he was all crazy over Katie or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if he's probably making it while they were, whatever, seeing each other. So I think that, and to have the girl in the movie looks a lot like Katie, I was obvious to me at the time, oh yeah, I see that. And I just thought he was completely in love again in real life at the time. So it was just this is I gotta put this in a Mission Impossible. We gotta tell me and Katie's story in this movie somehow, because that was at the forefront of what was going on in his life, and it truly shows in there. I think that, it ends up playing fine. It isn't too much. They just give you enough. One thing, the scene I think is weak is when he's trying to be serious, when he's, I need you to trust me. I need you to just trust me. I thought that was a little, when I saw that in theater, I was like, because the other acting in the movie I think is fine, but that scene I thought was just it was Tom Cruise trying to, I want an Oscar, damn it, I'm gonna try to get an Oscar. So I thought that was, but the movie as a whole I think is great. I think I'm gonna go 3 stars on it. I like how they have in the movie that he stopped being in the field and that he just was a teacher, which kind of makes sense. And then again, like so many things in Rambo or so many movies, that someone who you love or know, is a good friend or something like that, brings them back into the field. I thought that the first action scene where they go and get her out, get her out and stuff was pretty cool. And I think it's a lot better than. Why don't you take off?
Well, I never saw this because at the time I was not an Abrams fan, and man, I wish I would have seen this. I think this is his best movie, in all honesty. I saw this last night, and I was I waited. It was really, really, really impressive. I was really blown away. That opening scene is just so jarring and just sort of slaps your face right into the movie, and you're hooked for 25 minutes. And then the movie does hit the 25-minute lull where this one recovers from it the fastest. Where it was just like, bam, all right, okay, we're back in. But like after about 25 minutes, it sort of hits its downward slide for, I'd say, a good 5-10 minutes before it gets back into it. And that was about when that scene was, the dramatic scene.
Yeah. And then then he takes her, I think, right after that, and they get married with some and then plastic ring. And
yeah, and I was like, that's cute, but it's, I don't know, I felt weird. The thing that I find weird about the franchise as a whole is there's no connectivity to any of them up until the 4th one. The first one is its first one.
Yeah.
The second one has no reference to the first one. The only through-line connection is Tom Cruise and Ving Rhames. But Ving Rhames almost could have been an entirely different character in that second one. This one has no callback to the prior 2 movies.
Yeah, what happened to Thandie?
Thandie Newton's just not there anymore. They're not talking about any of the events that happened in the past couple times. Or like, I wanted Ving Rhames to be like, how come you turned, like, your character entirely changed for one movie? That was weird. Like, that should have been
I like your Part 2 haircut.
Yeah, I actually did like the Part 2 haircut. But, anyway, so I was just like, that's my problem, I think, with the franchise. But I really liked how this one almost could have been a first movie. This was like a reboot in a lot of ways.
True in a way.
And I thought it really worked well. I like the idea of it's True Lies in essence. Like the family man who's called back into his old ways, and she ends up getting pulled into it. Wow, it is a lot like True Lies, but it's done really well, so you don't really notice it too much. But I really like the girl in it. She's great. Michelle Monaghan, I think is her name.
I think so.
She is fantastic. The movie steps up the performances much like the first one did, and I think she's really good. As is like the sidekicks that he has. Ving Rhames is good, I can't remember her name. She's the star of Nikita right now. She was the villain in Live Free or Die Hard. She's really good. She's done a lot of really cool Hong Kong movies too. And then John Rhys Meyers was actually pretty good. He's a person that doesn't generally impress me. I really liked him. I like Kerry Russell a lot in her scene. She was really, really good and really convincing and whatnot, and you really sort of like feel for her like you're supposed to, like the character did, up until like her terrible, creepy moment with the eyes.
I thought was really good.
Oh, that's so disturbing.
It is.
And the villain in this, like the movies aren't really about their villains. Like they tried to make a super villain out of the second movie guy, and it just did not work. So I think this was Abrams like, we can make a super villain in this franchise and make him work. And they totally do. Like Philip Seymour Hoffman is insanely creepy in this. He's so good. So I really liked that. I'm gonna give the movie a really, really strong 3.5. It edges on 4, but 3.5 for sure.
Yeah.
The action is great. I like when he's jumping from building to building, and then you're expecting to see the heist moment, and then he's like, I got it!
He just crashes out of the window,
Yeah, and he tries to pull the thing, and he sucks him back into the building. I like that. That was great. This is written by the guys who ended up writing Star Trek.
Oh, the 2009?
Yeah, the 2009 Star Trek. These guys are good writers. I don't know how and they also wrote Transformers 1 and 2. I don't know what happened there. They're also the head writers of Fringe, which I've been told is the best television show on TV. I've not seen it yet. I plan to, but like these guys, from what I hear, have immense talent. I don't know what happened with those two movies, but anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna give this really strong 3.5. I was also expecting after the second one all the face mask thing. That didn't really get shown except for that one scene when he rips the tape off of her mouth and you see the plastic mask thing come up and it's another woman underneath.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That was so cool. That blew my mind.
Because the whole movie you're actually wondering, you're waiting for the scene, you want to see how they actually kill her.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning you don't see but you see the gun go off. He's like, ah! Bum, bum. So it's like
Michael Giacchino.
Oh, that's right, that's right. He does some really good music in here. I like the bit where they're setting up when they're going to rescue her.
Yeah.
And there's this part where it goes where he's running off and it cranes up and it's like I can't do it at all, but it's kind of starts to go into the and then it goes into the I can't do it as you can see.
Yeah,
But
he's really good. He's one of my favorite film composers. He does the villain's theme in the movie is a little bit like the villain's theme, like or the Others theme in Lost, which I don't know if you've ever watched that.
No.
There, in Lost, there's the Others and that are on the island, and the music sounded so similar to that. It almost felt like he was like, "Oh crap, I gotta," and he just was like, "Well, I'll just slap that in there. Nobody will know." It's not the same instruments and everything.
What it was.
But other than that, like the score is great. I really like the sort of love theme between the two of
I can't
them
remember.
that you get mostly after the defibrillation scene at the end of the movie.
Oh, so it's just for a while at the end.
It's played a couple of times.
He's
but
really
right
good
there.
with those sentimental themes, though.
Oh God, yeah, he is great.
He's great in general. And when I did rewatch, because I rewatched it after I saw 4, I was glad to see, because at the time I didn't know who the hell he was, but obviously since Star Trek and Super 8, it's like, oh, well that makes sense. And and then I was like, yeah, that sounds like him.
Yeah. Abrams uses him in pretty much everything.
Yeah, like he's his John Williams.
Yeah, I think he's going to be the next John Williams, in all honesty. So yeah, very good movie. Such a huge step up. Like I agree with Nate here that the second movie is probably the worst of the franchise, not in terms of quality for me anyway. I did think it's a very well made movie. It just wasn't Mission Impossible. This one sort of calls back to that first one really well.
Yeah.
The action set pieces in this are stunning, and like it's just really impressive movie. One that I plan on rewatching soon.
Yeah, all of the spy stuff, like kidnapping this Philip
Seymour.
Fossman's character, you know, and all that Mission Impossible-esque stuff, and having him right behind the door as the card comes in. I mean, that stuff is just classic Mission Impossible movie stuff, and that was great.
Yeah.
So it probably deserves more than 3, but I guess I'm just gonna go 3. If you're done.
I'm done.
I'm done. Stomp out that fuse. Dun, 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 dun. Catch you later.
Welcome back, brother.